Nyajong, everyone. My name is David Lee, and I'll be your teacher for learning Hmong as a foreign language using the Nyiakeng Puachue script. We will be going over the Nyiakeng, which are the consonants. So let's get it started. The objective for this course or this week is that we learn and memorize all 36 consonants and its phonetic sounds. Week 2 will be the first 12 Nyiakeng phonetic sounds and its English equivalent pronunciations. Week 3 will be the next 12, and then week 4 will be the last 12. Let's move on to the next slide. So the Nyiakeng Puachue alphabet system. Now the consonants, like I stated before, the consonants are called Nyiakeng. Now there's the open and the closed syllable. Open syllable is called Yile. The closed syllable is called Yile. Now the vowels, there are a total of 20 vowels, and they're called Puachue. Of the 20 vowels, 9 Puachue are called the Puachue Keng. And then there are 11 Puachue Pu, and we'll be going over that when we get to the vowels section. Now for the tones, the Hmong language is primarily a tonal language. So in total, there are 8 tones. In Hmong, it's called Sha Tu. And then with the Nyiakeng Puachue alphabet script, there are noun indicators. There are a total of 7, right? A total of 7 symbols for noun indicators. Noun indicators are called Ha Ji, 2 of which are punctuation markers. So let me get rid of my screen here. So as you can see here, on this green side, you'll see it says here consonants. And then on the right, you'll see that there are vowels, and you see 2 shades. The first 9 are the vowels, or the Puachue Keng, and then the next 11 will be the Puachue Pu. Right, and to the bottom left, you'll see that these are tones. Now you'll see here that there are 7 right here, but this little space right here, that's actually a tone as well. But we'll get to this when we get there. And this is fairly difficult, but we'll work on this when we get there. And to the right, you'll see that there are noun indicators, and there are 7 of them. And then the last 2 are punctuation markers, okay? And then on the bottom, you'll see that this is how you combine the consonants, the vowels, the tones, and the noun indicators to form a word. Now you'll see right here, I'll put an asterisk right here, which means that it's for nouns only. So when you form a word and it's actually, let's say, a verb or adjective, you won't be using the noun indicators in this case. Consonants, verb, tones, noun indicators. Now here the word says Hmong. Hmong. Okay. The ma, the ong, and the ha ji for a person. Hmong. Okay. And it's that simple. So let's move on with the next slide. Now these are the consonants. Like I stated before, their consonants has an open and a closed syllable. So we'll be going over quickly just how each one of them sound, starting with the first one.
Ma, ja, judge, da, dat, da, dat, ha, ha, na, an, sa, sas, ga, gag, ja, jat, la, al, sha, shash, ja, jaj, ja, jat, ja, judge, ga, gak, da, dat, gla, glak.
Now, this one, like I mentioned earlier in the introduction presentation, the Hmong language has two dialects, the White Hmong and the Green Hmong. Okay, and so this one, it pronounces both the White and the Green Hmong dialects. So the first one is the White Hmong dialect, and then the second one, or the second pair, is the Green Hmong dialect.
Nya, nyak, ja, ja, va, vav, za, zats, za, zats, fa, faf, ja, jat, ka, kak, ya, yak, nga, ngag, pa, pap, xia, xiach, ba, bab, ngla, nglak, mbla, mblab, ah, mla, mla, pla, plap, nga, ngang, ra, rar.
All right, and these are the consonants, or the Nyiakeng, with the open and closed syllable sounds. Now, if you guys have any questions with any of these consonants, feel free to put it on the comments down below, and I'll make a more specific video about these consonants. Okay, with that being said, there are a total of 36 consonants. And if you would like a copy of this PowerPoint presentation that comes along with the audio recordings, it'll be linked down in the description below as well. All right. So here are the consonants, and we're gonna start them in order. They're gonna be numbered in the order to the left. So let's get started with the first one. The first one is ma, okay? The ma open syllable, it makes the sound. The sound is produced from the lips, like ma, right? To open. So sound from the lips, ma, to the open mouth. Now you'll see that you can hear this phonetic from the word like mop, might, underlined right there, mom, or move, right? And that's the open syllable to pronounce that. Fairly straightforward, pretty easy. Now the closed syllable is pronounced right? Ma, open syllable, closed syllable. So for the closed phonetic sound, it's very similar as well. It's the ending sound to the word like mom, or hum, or drum, or yum. And that's how you pronounce the open and closed syllable for the ma consonant, or the ma Nyiakeng. Now for the next one, it's called ja, jach. So the ja, the open syllable, it's not an aspirated sound. So you're not breathing a puff of sound of air. So it's not like the word chair, because the chair has an aspirated sound, but the aspirated sound is removed. So it's more of a softer CH sound. So ja, right? So you'll see this in the word like situation. You'll see underlined right there with the TU. Situation, or ritual, or conceptual, or natural, or structure. So that cha sound, that's how you would pronounce the open syllable for ja, okay? And the closed syllable, ja, jach, right? So sound should be produced from a closed teeth, like chach, right? Like the word you'll see here, arch, or teach, or which, or bench. So this is specifically for the closing sound or closing syllable. And how you pronounce that is the word that I provide example here. Arch, teach, which, bench. Now for the third one, this one is pronounced nda, ndat. So for the open syllable, it'll be a nasal sound. So it'll be and then followed by the word like the. But instead of the, it'll be like ah, or depending the vowel that you'll attach after the consonant. So it'll be da. So the sound should come from the nose or the nasal area and then produce from the tip of the tongue behind the semi-open teeth. So kind of like da, da, da. All right. So in English, the open phonetic, there's really nothing equivalent, but how you would pronounce this is something similar to the word like if you combine two words and then, and you say that really fast, right? And then, right? Now you'll see that the word here highlighted or underlined right here, the N, D, and the TH. So those four letters is how you will pronounce the word nda. So it'll be and then, right? And there, or NDTH. So nda. That's how you pronounce the open syllable. Now for the closed syllable, it'll be nda, ndat, right? So it'll sound like a nasal sound with the word that, like almost like the word that, but not a hard T sound. That like a DATH sound. The sound should come from the tip of your tongue, right behind the teeth on the section where your teeth and your gum bridge connect, pretty much, right? So the tip of your tongue should be behind that, right behind that. So nda, ndat, right? And you'll see this sound, or you'll hear this sound pronounced in the words like 11th, or month, 13th, or synth, right? The NTH sound, pretty much. And that's how you pronounce the open and closed syllable of the consonant nda, ndat, okay? So for the fourth one, this consonant is pronounced ta, tat. This consonant is pretty much the same as the previous one, except it does not have a nasal sound. So it would be like the word the, but instead of the it'll be with a, or depending on the vowel you add to it. So it'll be ta, tat, right? The sound should come from the tip of your tongue, right behind that ridge, the gum and the teeth where they connect. And your teeth is semi-open, or your mouth should be semi-open, and it's a softer T sound. Like you'll see this in the word Thor, or there, or thump, or theory, or thermometer, or the word author. Now for the closed syllable, it's I'll use this as an example. It's pretty funny, but it gets to the point. So the closed syllable tat is a harder T sound. So it's like when Mike Tyson is saying trying to pronounce a word that has an S sound, but it's like math, right? Fourth, bath, birth, right? So you kind of hear Mike Tyson's voice when you're kind of trying to understand the closed syllable or closed phonetic sound. So you'll see that in that word, fourth, math, bath, birth, right? All right, so hopefully you guys get the first four. Let's move on to the next four. All right, so the next consonant, which is the number 5, which is ha, ha. So you'll hear that the open syllable and the closed syllable are very similar. Let's start with the open syllable. So the open syllable is a breathy open mouth sound, right? So you'll hear this in the word like ha, ha, right? The H's in ha, ha, or Harry, or how, here, house, right? Pretty straightforward, just very... the same thing in English, right? The closed syllable, it sounds exactly the same as the open syllable. It's a breathy and open mouth. So it's a breathy, because it's also a breathy and not really, I believe the term is, It's not really glottal. It's not a glottal or guttural sound. It's just more like a breathy sound. So it doesn't really have a closed sound. So that's why I put it there. Breathy, but no closed sound. All right, now for the next one. This one is pronounced na-an. Na-an. So for the open syllable, it's pronounced na, and should come from the tip of your tongue towards the roof of your teeth, right? Just where that ridge is, na, na, right? So you see in this, you hear it in the word like nasal, near, noisy, next, or nice, right? Pretty straightforward there. That should be pretty easy. Now for the closed syllable is pronounced an, right? Na-an. Sound from the tip of the tongue, that's where it's produced towards the roof of the mouth near the teeth. So pretty much how it's produced in the open syllable is very similar, very close to closed syllable, how it's produced, right? You'll hear this phonetic closed sound like in the word run, the letter N in the word run, or pan, or bacon, or acorn, right? That's pretty straightforward. It's very similar, very closely to the English sound, okay? Now for the next one, this one is called or pronounced sa-sus. Sa-sus. So for the open syllable, it's pronounced sa, which should come from the front of your teeth before open mouth. So like a closed teeth, like a snake. Sa, which is the same thing with the English letter S, or the English alphabet S, right? Sa. You'll hear this in words like said, the letter S in the word said, singing, soar, or sit. Now for the closed syllable, it's pronounced sus, right? It'll be sa, sus. So the sound should be produced in the same area in front of the teeth before the open mouth. And it'll be closing mouth in the closed syllable in this case. So you'll hear this in the word suspicious, like suspicious, right? And then face, or miss, or worse. So that's how you produce the closed phonetic syllable for the consonant sa, sus. Now for the next one, this consonant is pronounced nga, ngug. Nga, ngug. Now, you'll see here, I've marked an asterisk on the open syllable right here. It's spelled nga, and then down below you'll see pre-nasalized voiced velar plosive. Now, if anyone knows about the IPA, or International Phonetics Association, that's how they'll categorize that for people who want to learn languages. And you'll see that this word in particular is very closely related to the Hebrew word, or the Hebrew guttural or throat sound or word gav. I'm not a Hebrew expert, but there are similarities in especially this character and the Hebrew guttural gav, right? So it's more towards the back of your throat. It's close, but not. It's not exactly the throat area yet. So nga, it'll be nga with the nasal sound first, and then ga, right? It'll be the nasal sound and then the word ga with the open mouth. So it'll be nga, right? You'll see this in the words like if you add two words together, and go, or and good, and great. The and the G sound, it'll be and good, right? And go, or and great. So you have that nasal sound with the G sound, nga, right? The closed syllable is ngug, right? It'll be nga, gug. So the nasal sound is then produced first and then the g at the end with a slightly closing mouth. So it's not so much of a open mouth anymore, it's slightly closing mouth. So you'll hear this in the word, closed phonetic word, like the ending of like the word drug or plug, thug, or slug, right? And that's how you produce the closed phonetic or closed syllable sound for ga, gag. Now let's move on to the next one. So this one, number 9, this consonant is pronounced ja, jat, ja, jat. Now this one is somewhat different from the English language because it's pretty much just a Hmong phonetic sound that can be produced, and there's really no English equivalent word that the English language has for this. But you're just gonna have to memorize how I pronounce it and pronounce it that same way as well. So it's pronounced, the open syllable is pronounced ja, which is similar kind of like to the word Jerry, but not really because it doesn't really have a J sound. But the sound should come not so much from the tip, but it should be on the sides of your tongue, and it's towards the roof of your mouth. So it'd be like ja, right? So both the sides should be touching the top, and your tip should not be touching the roof, right? So it'd be ja, right? Ja, 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 ja. Now if you mix it with other vowels like o, yo, ja, ji, ju, jo, and then diphthongs, jiao, jua, jo, right? So that's how you'll pronounce, that's how you exercise that consonant if you add it with different types of vowels, right? So that's how you pronounce the open syllable to the consonant ja. Now the closed syllable is jat, right? The sound should come from the tips, not so much the tips, but the sides of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, open mouth, right? For this one, there's really not an equivalent English word, but I mean the closest one, it will be in the word catch, but instead of the end of the catch sound, it'll be the CTH sound. So it won't be catch, it'll be catch, right? Catch. So that's the closest example I could find for that. Okay, and that's how you'll pronounce the closed phonetic sound for the consonant ja, jat. Now on to the next one, number 10, which is the consonant is pronounced la, al, la, al. So the sound, the open syllable should sound from the tip of your tongue, right? The tip of your tongue towards the roof of your mouth, more towards the teeth, right? It'll be la, just like the word, the L sound in English. You'll hear this in the word like lazy, the L in lazy, lose, loose, layer, light, language. That's pretty straightforward, so you should be able to pick that up pretty easily. Now for the closed syllable, its sound is al, okay? La, al. Now the sound's produced from the same area as the open syllable, and you'll hear this in the ending or closed phonetic sound to the word like bell, the L in the bell, or bicycle, apple, doll. This one's pretty straightforward, it's pretty easy, so you should be able to pick this one right up. Now for the next one, number 11, this is the consonant sha, shush, sha, shush. Now in the English language, this is pretty straightforward as well. So you see sha for the open syllable should come from the tip or the front of your teeth, closed mouth, like shh, right? Like you'll see this in the word share, she, shout, or the Hmong girl's name, Shane, or shoot, right? Now for the closed syllable, closed phonetic, it'll be shush, right? Sha, shush. So the sound is produced from the same area as well as the closed open syllable. And you'll hear this in the word like shh, right? Or that sound, shh. Or the word hush, or push, or flush. And that's how you pronounce the closed phonetic sound for sha, shush. Now for number 12, this consonant is pronounced ja, zhuzh. Ja, zhuzh. For the open syllable, it's pronounced ja, which should come from the tip of the closed teeth, like zh. It's not a Z, it's not like a Z English sound, but it's more like zh, because with the z, you can kind of hear and you kind of feel where it's coming from. Z, the English z is different from the Hmong zh, right? Ja. So it's almost kind of like a long G sound, but it's not really a guttural or throat sound as well. So it's kind of similar to ginseng, but it's not really ginseng at all too. But that's the closest. But it'll be ja, not ginseng, but ginseng, right? So I guess it's like the DJ in like Jin or Django. I guess it's closer to that. Okay. So for the closed phonetic, it'll be zhuzh. Okay, ja, zhuzh. Sound should come from the tip of the closing teeth, and more like a long G sound, but no throat sound. Okay, same thing. Now, there's really no English equivalent word, but the closest one I could find is like the word budge. But instead of the DGE, it would be like a UZH sound. Like budge, it's budge, but budge. Budge, right? And that's the closest equivalent sound I could find that will be able to help you pronounce this closed phonetic sound for ja, zhuzh. Now for week 2, we learned the first 12 Nyiakeng phonetic sound and its English equivalent pronunciation. And so I hope this has been very helpful, very useful. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put in the comments down below. Also as well, if you would like to have a copy of this specific PowerPoint with the audio recordings that comes along with it, it's linked down the description below as well. And with that being said, thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and we'll see each other next time. Thank you.